Hey, what's going on, guys? DJ Hess here, CollectiveKicks.com. Wanted to bring you guys a detailed look and review of the Under Armour Curry 3 that you can see in front of you. And I got to give a major shout out to Under Armour for actually sending me this pair of sneakers. It's really dope that companies are sending me the shoes, and then it's even better when they send them to me when it is before the shoes release. And then extra icing is when they send them before the new model even exists. So the model's not even out yet, and they ended up sending them to me. So that was a really cool move. Big shout out to Under Armour for doing that. I want to give you guys an honest review of the shoes, though, so it's not going to be all peaches and cream just because I got the shoes for free from the company. So I'm letting you guys know that ahead of time. If you guys appreciate that, hit the thumbs up button, show you guys support. Also, this is a non-performance review. This is strictly my thoughts on the shoe based on aesthetics, and that is it. Anything performance-wise, if I say it's not an attractive shoe, but it performs like a beast, obviously it's going to be worth paying attention to that if that is your purpose in buying them. And if you do want to know about that, check out Nightwing's channel because he's the one that will have the performance review on these that you'd want to pay attention to, in my opinion. So that being said, this shoe is an interesting looking model. 100% honest, it's not my favorite Curry model to date, and maybe I'm just need the right colorway to make. Sometimes that's the reality, right? Like you pass on a shoe 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then you see the 5th colorway, and you're like, boom, like that's the one that's gonna change my mind and make me be like somebody that wants to buy that model. And if you guys remember, if you're a longtime subscribers, I hated the KD6, and I still ended up buying a couple colorways of them because after a while, they grew on me. And maybe that's what the Curry 3 is going to do. But as of right now, this is definitely not my favorite model. The 2 was my favorite just from the aesthetics alone. I think it looked like kind of a beautiful shoe. This is an interesting kind of conceptual shoe, interesting shape, but I think that they made some kind of important improvements on the shoe for the performance reasons. Let's go ahead and show you guys this. This is a tech sheet that they have. This is kind of the story behind it. If you guys want to read it, screenshot this right here. But basically, there's a couple different improvements that they mentioned right here. It's like a high tension thread woven material on the top, which is different than the hyperfuse kind of like materials that was on the Curry 2s. Also, there's some wings on each side that you can see right here that are carbon fiber. There's also a carbon fiber shank on the bottom, and I'll show you that in a sec. And then it says a contoured outsole and dynamic midsole frame. So there's a couple different things on this shoe. I think the biggest downer, though, if this is going to be the actual MSRP, this says it's going to be $150, and that's going to be a real tough price point in this competitive market nowadays. That being said, there are some technological advances in the shoe which maybe can justify the price point, but again, it's going to be strictly from a performance perspective, not from a casual consumer like myself. But you do have the carbon fiber, as you can see here. I think that is kind of neat. It is interesting, though. It's kind of like it's like a coated carbon fiber. It's not like raw carbon fiber, and it's kind of a thick coating, where normally carbon fiber is pretty stiff. This feels like it has a pretty thick covering over top, and then it is a bit flexible. And then on the bottom, you can see the carbon fiber here, and then here is a look at the bottom traction pattern. You can see it has a little bit of a circular design right here with some extra words in it. TCC, trust, commitment, and care, and interesting traction patterns on the bottom. And you can see right here it's kind of curved inwards, and then it wraps all the way up to the top around the back. Then you have the heel section right here, and this says SC, and then can do all things on the back right here. Interesting materials on the back also right here. This is different than this material, it feels like. And then the other part that I thought was really odd and interesting about the shoe was the lacing. It's different on both sides, and I thought that was kind of a bold move. On this side, you could see it's just kind of a loop that comes up over top and then loops it down. But then on this side, it's just like an extra wide like spot, so it kind of slips back and forth a little bit in between. But interesting lacing system, and it does do kind of a little bit of a side lace over this way. As you can see, it starts kind of over here, so very interesting. The tongue is thicker than the previous models. As you can see, it's a pretty thick tongue, and it's a well cushioned like collar area, so that's probably going to be really nice for those people that need that cushioning around the ankles. But that's kind of an overview of the shoe and kind of the aesthetics of the shoe. I think that it's going to be a tough one to sell at $150. I think that it's still going to be one that sells from the performance perspective, like for sure, because those people that have tried the previous models will probably really like this model. Also, if you're a diehard Curry fan, it's going to be a no-brainer for them to be wanting to buy these shoes. So there's definitely a cult following for the Under Armour shoes, and eventually it's gonna make that jump and hit more mainstream popularity. I don't think it's going to necessarily happen with this model, unfortunately, unless again we see some really cool colorways. But so as you can see, I have two different laces also in the shoes, the yellow and the blue. Leave a comment, let me know which one do you guys like the best. I personally, it came with the yellow laces. I swapped them to the blue. I personally like the blue. I think it's a cleaner look, a little bit less yellow, but the yellow and the blue of the other pair obviously make it look more Golden State like. So for the reason of that, the yellow laces is probably a favorite for other people. But also want to know what you guys' thoughts are on the Curry 3s. And thank you again, Under Armour, for sending me these shoes. It's really dope that you guys sent them, and I definitely am going to just rock them just to see how I like them. And if I actually end up hooping, I definitely want to give them a try as well. So now I have the option since I have them in my possession. So that's awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching the video, and have a good one. Check back as I do post videos every single day. Peace, guys.